This conference will now be recorded.
It's 8:30. Let's stand and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. This is the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors meeting. We're at the courthouse in Osage. Meeting's available by GoToMeeting also. We have an agenda in front of us. I do want to make a couple corrections just in wording on the agenda. So if we go to item 8, we'll cross off at the end where it says Board of Adjustment, and we'll cross off member. And so what it will say is discussion and possible action on Planning and Zoning Commission board appointment. And then for number 9, we'll cross off member at the end of it. So what it will say is discussion and possible action on Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustment board member. Those are two different boards, and that wording fits it better. So that's the only correction that I saw, unless there's others that people saw.
Number 13, we'll have to admit.
Okay, I'll just comment on it. I know nothing has happened with that, but Rachel commented about it. You want to eliminate it completely? I mean, you're on that committee, so I guess I'll ask that. You want to eliminate it
There's
completely?
no action we can take.
Okay. So no discussion on it either, then nothing?
There could be discussion, I guess, but no action, you know.
How much we can discuss, I guess.
I'll leave it up to you guys. You're on that committee.
We can do it under department head, I guess.
Okay.
Discussion. Just to let you know what's going on, I guess.
Okay. So eliminate 13, then we'll take care of in department head. All right. So eliminate 13 also then. So those corrections to the agenda, I'll accept the motion to approve the agenda.
To approve the agenda with the corrections.
Franz made a motion. Is there a second? Parker was seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approved minutes of the December 5th and 7th meeting and the claims. Any corrections needed? Otherwise, we can approve it.
Make a motion for the 5th and 7th meeting and claims.
Hendrickson has made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mayor has seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
Roll call, Todd?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Sydney? Mike?
Aye.
Mark?
Motion carries. County Attorney General discussion.
Morning. Just a couple of things just real quickly. I think one thing I think I sent a copy to everybody last week. It was just a little update. I think it was from Heartland Insurance. Just a little reminder that, and I bring this up because I preach this all the time. I preach it in my county practice. I preach it in my private practice. Whenever something happens, it looks like you may or may not have a claim, that somebody's going to be coming after you for something, always notify your insurance company. They sent out a reminder to, I think, every county that they work with, just kind of a reminder of that. It piques my interest because I'm like, I'm not the only one that's paranoid. You will frequently hear me say that when people ask me questions about liability or anything. I'll always say, well, you need to ask your insurance company, notify your insurance company. It's not because I'm trying to punt the ball down the road to somebody else. It's because one of the key things you always have to do is you always want your insurance company on board very early on. Just wanted to I think I sent that, like I said, I think they sent it to every county that they work with, probably just an end of the year kind of a thing. So I just wanted to reiterate that. Only other thing I have is, I got an email last week on the opioid settlement. I don't think I forwarded it to everybody or anybody I could, but it just simply was indicating that if somebody wanted to opt out of the class action lawsuit, they could by, like the end of December, beginning of January. I've not responded to it. The only time you respond to it is if for some reason the county wanted to opt out. I'm assuming the county does not want to opt out. If somebody has a thought about that, you can let me know. I don't see any particular reason for doing it. I mean, I guess the theory is sometimes if you opt out of a class action lawsuit, then you preserve your own right to go after somebody on your own. But most of the time, there's a reason why something's a class action lawsuit, and it's because it's so expensive that an individual probably can't pursue it on their own, right? So once in a while, somebody will opt out and say, no, I'm better off on my own. I want to go after, I think I can get more money that way. Usually not going to work out that way, but people have that right. So I thought I would just point that out. I've not responded to anything, not opted out. I don't suppose there's any reason to, but if somebody wants to ask me about it, they can. I think that's about all I have specifically.
Any questions for the attorney? Anybody want to opt out? No. No, you don't.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
thank you. Sheriff update.
Good morning, everyone. The last couple of weeks I've been out, more than I've been in. I'm back now, like it or not. I don't have much for you. A couple of vehicle repairs that you'll see come across your desk in the next couple of weeks. One hit a deer, and the same one's got a check engine light issue, and so it's got to go in for repairs. Other than that, I really don't have much. Everything's status quo over there. Budget's in good shape, so if you got questions, I'll be happy to answer for you.
Really having a lot of deer problem.
Have a lot of deer problems? Yeah. It cycles like that. We drive a lot of miles. It seems like when we hit one, we hit two or three, but overall, I think we're doing pretty good. It's precedent business, I guess. So, people have questions for me, I'll answer.
I guess we're good.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Department head discussion. Department head discussion.
We just had an interview for the IT person and made him an offer. I guess, waiting to hear back from him. Just update, I guess. Went well for the applicant.
Yep, I think it went well.
Very good.
How long did you give for them to reply?
Tomorrow.
Okay, very good. Thanks for working on that committee, guys. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Any other department head discussion?
What time do we start on Thursday? Comp board?
9 a.m.
And then we'll be here.
I do not remember, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
Any other department head discussion? Okay. County engineer update. Morning, Rich.
Morning. Just a couple of things. You're all well aware probably, I sent you guys an email that the 105 bridge is open. That's a nice thing, so we'll start working on close out of that project. I'm aggressively working on trying to close out the Balsam Avenue Bridge that's our federal aid CHBP project we had from 2021. Having the two projects, the one with Worth County and with Mitchell County, has its own challenges with paperwork and everything else because they're one project, yet they're still, they want to close it out as one project, but each individual project still stands alone. It's really confusing and a lot of paperwork. So we're trying to get that done here before the end of the month. So we've been trying to get that closed out. And then finally, I guess I'll be out at the engineers conference tomorrow through Friday down in Des Moines.
Okay,
For updates, that's all I've got.
we have the sub-item in your item, review and action on fiscal year 24 bridge inspection contract.
Yep, this is our annual, or our biannual, or however you want to call it. Every 2 years, we have our bridges inspected. We've added some, usually it's our national bridges, the 20 feet and over bridges that we've added in the past. We've added some smaller ones that we've noticed look like they need some attention. So we've added some of those. It adds to the price a little bit, but at least we're getting some of those other bridges looked at. So it's a not to exceed fee of $54,700. The fees keep going up, but so do some of the requirements by the feds for load ratings and things like that. There's more things that need to happen now with our bridge inspections as far as additional load ratings on certain bridges. Each year we'll find something. Each time we go through a cycle, there'll be more probably added to our bridge inspections just by the way that the codes are and everything else. So I'm going to recommend that we have WHKS, I recommend we approve the contract for WHKS to do our bridge inspections.
Is there a motion to approve the fiscal year 24 bridge inspection contract for $54,700?
I will make that motion.
Mary's made the motion, I'll second it. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
Roll call, Mark.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Cindy. Aye. Jim.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye. Down here, do we need to do that?
I'll do that. Okay, you can sign it. I can print it.
Sign, print.
Yep. That's all I've got unless you guys have questions.
I see that, one of you guys out with that tractor and arm mower the other day.
Probably.
Is that working good and
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I know we're still, yeah, if you've seen the John Deere on it, that would be the one. We got it, yeah, a couple electronic problems on it. We got them fixed right away and a couple of oil leaks and back at it. So it seems like it's a pretty good buy for us. I think
Yeah, it looks
every once in a while you get lucky, but yeah. But
usually out this time of year mowing ditches like that.
well, we're trying to get, you try to get some of the weeds down there on the fence line to keep the drifting in control and everything else, so. And if you have a wet year, at least when it's cold out, it's frozen, so you know, this stuff is easy, but, yeah. Try to knock down everything we can.
Any
All
other
right.
questions for the engineer? Thank you, Rich.
Sure, thank you.
Discussion and possible action on RSVP of North Central Iowa budget request. Morning.
Good morning. My name is Allison Mason. I serve as the director of RSVP at NIAC. Thank you, first of all, for the opportunity to come share with you this morning about some of our successes over the last year. We really feel and have seen the results of our effort. We're growing our impact. This year, over 7 counties, we're serving 1,013 students. And the biggest success in my mind is that we are serving over 100 classrooms. I mentioned that I meet with administrators and ask them more or less for permission to be in their building, but from there, it's the teacher buy-in that we really rely on. And so I know that teachers are super stressed and have their plates very full right now. So the value that they see in our program when they agree to attend a couple more meetings or to host volunteers in their room to supply us with data that we need for our federal funding requirements, it really means a lot to us to see that they value what we're doing in their rooms. Here in Mitchell County, that breaks down to 3 districts. We're currently at Riceville and Osage and also at St. Ansgar. 11 classrooms and 75 students ranging from kindergarten through 8th grade. And currently we have 25 volunteers serving in those roles. We continue to see a little bit of volunteer hesitancy along with, as I mentioned, some very real educator stress. But one thing that we've learned over the last several years is that continuing to be flexible and individualizing kind of how our program rolls out, depending on the district, depending on the classroom, depending on the teacher, or even the volunteer, helps us really continue to find success and find ways to manage where people are at and be accommodating to them. Student need continues to be a very real thing, both academically and socially. The emotional and social support volunteers provide to students, teachers have communicated to us that that's really invaluable. A positive moment in their day can propel them to be more engaged learners. So 87% of students in Mitchell County who participated in an RSVP program during the 22-23 school year improved their reading scores. And 93% of those students surveyed felt that they had an improved attitude around reading. Currently, the state of Iowa values an hour of volunteer service at $26.40 an hour. So in a very real way, we feel like we're making a difference in our communities. Without your continued support, it would be difficult for us to meet the required federal match to continue to receive funding. So we truly appreciate your consideration as we continue to work and grow our impact in Mitchell County. With that, RSVP respectfully requests $5,000 for fiscal year 25.
Okay. And what we have been doing a couple of other times before, I know this has action on it, but we've been waiting until our budget time to actually make a decision. Does the board still want to do that, or?
I think we should, because we've been doing that with every other.
Yeah, so we probably won't have action on it today, but.
That's okay.
It's a very good program.
Yeah, it's a very good program. I just support it. Definitely.
And my information is on the documents that I provided you. So if you think of questions as that time comes, please feel free to reach out.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action on planning and zoning commission board appointment. Amanda came in last week and mentioned that we need somebody on the commission board. I did reach out to an individual, maybe the board has also, I'm not sure. The person I contacted was Steve Grove, who lives on Jersey Avenue, a couple miles north of the TV tower. He's a farmer. He's currently a school board member. He was also on one of it was either Board of Adjustment or the Zoning Board Commission. I'm not sure which one it was, a number of years ago. So he's got experience with boards. When I spoke with him, his comment was he realizes the county needs to continue having economic growth, but also that there needs to be guidelines in place for when an industry wants to build in Mitchell County. So, to me, he was open-minded about things. That's who I contacted. Was there any other contacts made?
I made a contact to Bill Strite.
Okay.
He lives in the northern part of the county. He works in management for Northern Country Co-op, which is merging with Beafield. And in January, February, that merger is taking place. So he's, like I said, he's in management, so he's knowledgeable of a lot of things. And he said he'd be willing to go on the board also.
Okay.
What was his name?
Strike, Bill Strike. He's originally from this Paceville area, rural country. He lives in the country now.
Okay. Any comments from the board, discussion?
Thought he would be a good candidate also.
Okay. Any thoughts from the board? So we can,
Does Amanda have anybody?
Amanda, do you want to have a comment on
It
it?
was not my responsibility to find someone.
Okay, I was just making
Not
sure.
find someone.
Just making sure. I don't know who it is.
So we can think about it for the week, or if somebody wants to make a motion on it, accept the motion, whatever the board would like to do.
I'll make a motion to put Bill Straight on the board. Since I contacted him.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Mayor has made a motion, Henderson has seconded.
So we don't have them come in and talk and see us? 'Cause I don't know these gentlemen at all. So we don't have that happen?
I guess I don't know from them. I guess I'm just going with what
We can, we haven't had them come in, but I guess if the board wanted to contact these two individuals, give them a phone call and talk with them yourselves, you can do it that way too.
I know we need to get this done ASAP, so I don't wanna hold it back, but.
I've got a motion, Mark's got a second, I guess.
You gotta vote on it or not.
Yeah, and I know
We're
them both
discussing,
too,
it's a discussion.
and either one of them would do a good job. So, I mean, yeah,
I was just curious, I just figured we'd see something or something in here. Do anything. Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none,
Roll call, Todd,
I,
Mark.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Sydney,
I guess.
Jim.
aye. Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustment Board Member. Rachel, you were going through the book. Do you want to speak to this a little bit, or?
Sure. I was just going through, kind of preparing for our January meeting, and so I was going through all the boards that you guys appoint to, and you guys had appointed, I apologize if I pronounce his last name wrong, Andy Grow, recently, but that term, he finishes that term, which expired on 11/1. So you just have to reappoint for another term. And those are 5-year terms.
And he's willing to do another term, correct?
I didn't talk to him.
Did anybody?
I believe when he originally signed on to the board, he was told that it would be a 6-year term,
Oh,
so, yes.
I just.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve Andy Grove for, so approved for a 5-year term, is I guess what it would be? So is there a motion to approve Andy Grove for a 5-year term on the Planning and Zoning, excuse me, because these were mixed up, on the Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustment Board? Accept the motion for that.
I'll move to make that motion.
Brian's made a motion, is there a second?
I can second.
Mayor seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
Roll call, Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Sydney.
Abstain.
Mike.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
No problem.
Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on Landscape Partners proposal of services. So Landscape Partners came last week, spoke with us, went over the services that they provide, and the board consensus was to accept a proposal from them and to consider their proposal. So they submitted a proposal, that this was in your packet for your review. I'm not gonna read the whole thing word for word, but I did highlight the important parts of it. So, and some of this is reviewed from last week. They have 40 years of experience in TIF planning and financing for cities and counties in Iowa and throughout the country. They've been involved with previous Mitchell County boards of supervisors and in projects for more than a decade, as well as the recent work with the expansion of A to Z. Do a thorough analysis of the ways Mitchell County has used TIF in the past and allow the board to look at how TIF might be used to benefit the county's taxpayers in subsequent years. The initial tasks include working with the county auditor and her staff to complete the following tasks. confirm our understanding of the structure of your TIF as one overarching TIF district with 6 sub-areas. Next bullet point, research the existing urban renewal area plans and projects funded with TIF, determining when sub-areas may sunset. Next bullet point, review and confirm the amount of TIF revenue that can potentially be generated from each of the sub-areas in this fiscal year and into the future. Next bullet point, review existing TIF obligations, bonds, and rebate agreements, and determine those funds that will be available once project bonds and rebate agreements are paid off. The final bullet point, review other non-TIF revenue sources to determine if they are subject to TIF regulations. And they say that they'll prepare a report on the current and projected status of the programming for Mitchell County TIF funding. The proposal is Landscape Partners proposes to provide the services identified in this proposal on an hourly fee basis at our customary rate of $160 an hour. A not to exceed fee of $3,700 is proposed for those services I just described in those bullet points. It's expected that this may require a meeting in Osage with the auditor and another with the board to present the results. Mileage is billed from our office in Clear Lake and is not included in the not to exceed amount above. This work is considered a TIF eligible expense, meaning their expense comes out of the TIF revenue. It does not come out of our general fund or the rural. And then once the analysis described above is completed, the next step could be to convene a workshop with the Board of Supervisors to identify and prioritize new projects of interest that might best be funded using new TIF dollars. Should the board wish to pursue further work with Landscape Partners, additional proposals will be delivered. And signed by Kathy Showalter and Ron Fiskus, Landscape Partners. So they were here last week, read the proposal. If the board's interested, I'll accept a motion to approve the proposal from Landscape Partners.
I feel that Northland Securities is doing this stuff for us already, you know.
Okay.
So, and they're, I don't know, do they charge us for questions or?
I mean, I've asked them some questions that they haven't charged for, but as far as when we've like bonded for stuff, I'm not sure. I think it all gets like lumped together, so I don't really.
Because their fees are included with the bonding, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's two different things, like financial advisor versus, I don't know.
Yeah, this is a financial advisor, and the Northland deals specifically with bonding, and this is, they've specifically said they don't do the bonding part of it. They'll do the advising, they'll do the rebate processes, and they'll explore avenues for our unobligated TIF revenue that we have, and none of that is bonding. So it's not that we're getting rid of Northland Securities in any way. This is another avenue to explore things, so.
And I don't think, Northland is saying, they're not stepping on their feet. Landscape, I believe Heidi knows that this is something we've been looking at, so.
Kathy Scholl said that last week, so work in conjunction with Northland, she made that statement, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the landscape proposal.
Hartle has made a motion. Is there a second? I'll second it. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
Roll call, Jim,
Aye.
Sydney, Mike,
Nay.
Mark,
Nay.
Todd.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Discussion of possible action on HVAC pay request application number 19. So we were submitted application 19, deals specifically with, this one deals with equipment, materials, labor, and general work. Also, Electrical, Skyline Construction, which did the dirt work out front. And alternate number 2, which is humidification. Some of these bid items are actually reaching their 100% amount where they've been completed. And there are no materials stored. Some of these materials were stored, and so we didn't pay on the applications because of that. Nothing is stored now. There is a few things down in the basement. I believe there might be a humidifier down there yet. And these are not little household humidifiers. I mean, these are large commercial humidifiers. So things are wrapping up. Things are coming along pretty good. This application 19 is for the amount of $152,583.57. I'll accept a motion to approve application number 19.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Mayor's made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brian seconds. Any further discussion?
Like I see, we still have a negative balance on our change orders. Are they looking at any other change orders?
Yeah, there's 3 of them that are not listed here yet. That one will be the exit lights, and I mentioned some of these before, but some will be the exit lights down in the basement. So if something happens before the generator comes on, people can get out of there. There'll be some additional lighting down under the stairs, at the bottom of the stairs, and then one of the exit lights is actually, that's at the top of the stairs, is gonna have a light on it that will shine down so that the stairway is somewhat lit. So it'll kind of serve 2 purposes. So we got the lights, we've got the exit lights. And the third was in the control room. The way it was originally designed was one cassette was going to take care of that, or 2 cassettes were going to take care of that, the heating and cooling, but 1 thermostat. So what's going to be done is there's going to be some piping involved to change that. Each cassette will be individually operated by 2 thermostats, because the control room is a unique situation where one side has a lot of electrical equipment and it's basically an oven, and the other side is not that situation, and it's just almost impossible to control it. So that will be the 3rd change order.
No, they'll give us a quote before they
Correct.
actually do it.
Correct. The first thing is it's called an ITC, instruction to contractor. And so the consultant, engineering consultant, designs it, sends it to the contractor. The contractor determines how much it's going to cost to do it, and then the contractor says, okay, here's what it's going to cost, and then that's the change order.
Okay. Yeah, good, thank you.
Yep. So I don't remember if I said, I did think I did, discussion of possible action. Is there a motion to accept HVAC pay request 19? And you got that? Okay.
We're in the discussion.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're in the discussion.
Okay. I have to apologize. I got a cold and I took cold medicine this morning, so it's just a little foggy up here. I apologize for that.
Oh, that's fine.
Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Roll call, Sydney. Tom.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on Johnson Controls proposal agreements. So this deals with the project that we put on hold this summer, and that's just how I'll describe it. Won't describe it any more than that. When they installed the servers that's specific to that project, something happened and it ruined the server. And we don't have to pay for that replacement server. It's not been put in yet, but they don't want to put another one in there in case some of the problem is on our side of this. We thought there's a possibility that there's a voltage surge going on somewhere where that's what's damaging it. What he wants to do is he's going to come here with a meter to see if you can identify where the surge is at. He didn't know if it was maybe the monitor that's in there. Also, there's possibility that there's 2 managed switches that are in this system, and one of these proposals is the cost of 2 managed switches. If the managed switches are not the problem, we're not gonna get charged for it, but if our equipment is bad, we have to pay to have our equipment fixed. So that's the one proposal. The other one is, has to do with programming to, I'll just say, it has to do with programming to operate the system in a specific manner. I'll just say it that way.
Multi-sensor,
Pardon me?
is that multi-sensor?
Yeah. And I told him before we just turn him loose to do this, I need to have the board be on board as far as the program sensors was not part of the original contract, and it's something that has to happen. I'll accept the motion to approve Johnson Controls proposal agreements, and if you have any other questions, I'll try to answer them at just the further discussion part. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Bartol's made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Brian seconds. Any further discussion?
So the cost on this is $5,052, correct, for the smart managed
This,
switch?
yep, the managed switches is $5,232.21.
Okay. Yep, tax, yeah.
And then the programming is $1,266.40.
Okay.
And the scope of work is defined on these proposals that we were sent. Any other discussion?
I just have I was kind of, when I was going through this Sunday, didn't earlier this year, we approved 2 different Johnson Controls, one for the sheriff's office, one for the courthouse. And basically what we're saying is this particular item isn't covered in what we approved earlier this year.
We had different, some of the Johnson Controls items had to do with fire, the fire systems in the building. And it's the controls that monitor that system. And I think that was a 5-year agreement, one of those was. We approved this project quite a while ago, and it's the same contractor, but this is a different
Issue.
yes, it's a different issue.
Because you sent, whoever sent the email out, it has page after page of, small print, and I didn't know, I did not read all that. I thought we had already approved all that, but, okay, I understand now what.
Yeah, this is to do with the cameras and such, right? The video.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about that too much.
Right, yep.
Yep, so let's not get into that.
Okay, yeah, that's what it's.
I think we all know what it's about.
Yeah.
Because it's what we approved at one time.
Yep.
Good. If there are in-depth questions, then we're gonna probably be going to closed session to discuss it further, is where it's gonna be, so.
I'm good.
I understand.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none.
Roll call, Mike,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Todd,
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, 13, took care of. Discussion of possible action on transfer of EMA truck to Mitchell County Conservation. I don't know if Chris, you want to speak, or just the conservation director said he wanted your truck and you said okay, and is that pretty much it?
I don't know for sure what Is that what happened with like Greg's pickups that he
Yeah, the board just kind of gave us.
started internally first and that nobody wants it, then we let John Q. Public know about it. And
They just go by Cali Blue Book, to be fair with everybody.
Whatever you guys come up with, I mean,
I would guess it's in fair condition, would you say?
Yeah, how did you do the sheriff's ones? Was that like a blue book one or
No.
what'd you guys do?
The last time we actually did it, because what did they say? They didn't want to transfer from one fund to another, that they just gave it to them.
We've done it both ways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
both ways.
I would think that the funds, if it were to come out of conservation, go back to the general fund here, or else not to emergency management.
It'd just be coming out of general fund money.
Yeah.
It'd just be going general fund to general fund.
Just.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
So just a
not
gift.
even bother doing anything, just keep it in house and all good.
I'll make a motion.
okay. Dr. has made a motion to, transfer the EMA truck to the Mitchell County Conservation. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mayor seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Sydney. Mike.
Aye.
Mark.
Okay. Motion carries.
Enjoy your new truck.
Be more.
Discussion and possible action on NIACOG Housing Trust Fund request funding. So NIACOG, New Board of Supervisors, the purpose of this letter is to request funding for the NIACOG Housing Trust Fund's housing repair program. We are requesting a $2,000 investment in the program from Mitchell County for fiscal year 24-25, which would represent about 2% of required local matching funds. Since the program began in 2012, the program's impact has been a $7.47 million investment in the housing stock in NIACOG's 8-county region. Funding has been provided by 15 different public-private agencies, banks, and other sources. In 2023, $107,948 has been expended in Mitchell County on eligible home repair projects. The program's efforts focus primarily on home repair for elderly and disabled homeowners. Repairs typically include replacement or repair of severely dilapidated roofing, broken or severely dry rotted windows, siding, doors, handicapped accessibility, non-functioning plumbing, electrical, furnace, hot water heat, water sewer lines, and other similar needs. These types of fixes help to keep homes from deteriorating, which directly improves their ability to maintain and or improve their assessed valuations. The assistance format is generally a 5-year forgivable loan that must be repaid if the homeowner sells their home within 5 years, which is determined by the funding source. To be eligible, the households must have incomes below certain levels based upon the number of people living in the home. For example, to be eligible, a one-person household must have an income below $35,700. However, most recipients have household incomes between $17,000 and $28,000. This is from Myrtle Nelson. So, as before, we're waiting until budget time, but I wanted to read your request so that we were aware of it.
I think we should support it.
Okay, so we will just, discuss this when we do our budget meetings, as far as if we're gonna approve it or not.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been keeping track of these, Rachel, but you're keeping track of them also? I want to make sure at least a couple of the board also, so we don't miss any of them. Perfect. Approved recorder's monthly report for November. I don't know if I brought that up. You have your signature? I can bring it up on my computer. So this is fees ending 11/30/23. The state collected $17,849.30, and we got to collect $7,772.54. Is your motion to approve the recorders?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Bartos made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mayor seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Roll call, Mark.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Sydney. Jim.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Motion carries. Items of note, meetings attended. A brief HVAC update is that there's air handlers 1, 2, and 3 are up and going. They discussed the ITCs as far as that are related to those change orders. Boiler on air handler 1, 2, and 3 is going, and air handler 4 is piped. And this is from last week, so some of this might actually be going right now. Again, things are moving forward with that project. Went to a city council meeting last night, and they discussed, I mentioned to this one other time where you can use a mitigation process to reduce nitrates, and so they signed an agreement to do that. Valent will be paying the fee for the mitigation, and then what happens is they can offset their high nitrate wastewater. They're over the limit at times, other times they're not. So they can mitigate that, and then the money that, it's kind of like our wetlands where we're buying credits. People are buying credits from us. That money goes to farmers, and farmers can use it to put in bioreactors, edge strips along their fields, and different things to eliminate nitrates in their farming practices. So it's a win-win for everybody. The city signed that agreement in order to move forward with that. That was pretty much, and then they talked about the CRC extensively. That's all I had.
Yeah, but not until next year.
We had the interview on Wednesday, and then I had a community calibration meeting with the county social service, and they talked about Mitchell County Child Abuse Prevention Council. So Sue Locken was here talking about that, and had a presentation on youth jail diversion program, which is all pretty good industry, but that was the only meeting I had.
I went to the same county social service meeting, and they have classes at Osage Elementary and St. Ansgar Elementary on Mondays for different crafts for the parents and their kids both to attend.
I had a Upper Cedar Watershed Management meeting. The biggest thing there at night is that we have 28 watershed management authority in the state, and very, very few of them have a coordinator, and they would really like the state to step in and help fund these, to have coordinators and keep working on these watersheds. So they had a Zoom meeting with a lot of them the following day, which I was unable to hop on. They're going down to the Capitol on January 29th to try and discuss some of this, getting funding from the state for these to hire coordinators. So it's going to be a big task, but they're going to try it. And then I had a fair board meeting. It's coming to the point now after the first of the year. They were putting their contracts all together to send out to all the vendors and Carnival, and I think they've got some weigh-ins coming up A bunch of them went to the state convention. I think there's a couple of vendors coming from that convention down there, so it's pretty much, it's gonna be a free fair again, and try it again and see how that goes over. And it looks like the grounds are gonna be full. We got a lot of people wanting to come and set up because of what they heard and witnessed this last year, so should be interesting.
Great.
Yeah. And that was it.
Okay. Public comments. Are there any public comments? Keith?
I have a comment. As you well know, we have a difficult budget year coming up this year. The state has handed down that all non-tip taxation will be held to 3%. And that's going to go on for the next 4 years, so we're virtually flat line. And then they may go back to their 8-10 rule or not. With that being said, TIF is an important tool for us all to be using for growth and to do catch up on projects. If we do not have projects available to consume the funds that are available, that's just ridiculous. Citizens and citizens groups bring projects down here and have you folks look at it. But if you're unwilling to look at projects, we're never going to be able to use those funds. I just hope that you have an open mind about projects that come here. When it comes to the projects that should be built, those are your direct responsibilities. You're the ones that have the last say on how money is spent in this county. I hope that you look at this thing with an open mind. Start using TIP the way we can for infrastructure and all other legal needs.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comments? Okay. Meeting is adjourned at 9:21.